can then also share further
Yeah,
on that.
Pallavi can just give us a quick and a good brief on how our sessions have helped her shape her idea, right?
Yeah, sure. I can.
Awesome. Wonderful.
So should I start?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so basically I already run a business and I am trying to understand how I can work on more on our ideas and how I can improvise with my current ideas also. So for example, there were some barriers coming around for my implementations and the other business part of my company. So I am working on those also because of your points which you mentioned. For example, the barrier part, the Reddits part, the everything I am working on it right now.
Awesome. That's good to know. That's lovely that you're
Yes.
actually applying it. That's awesome. Yeah, Hardi, what about you? A little bit about you.
Hello, I'm audible to you?
Yes.
Absolutely.
ओके मैं ना अभी फिलहाल वुमन एक्सेसरीज और क्लोथिंग पर वर्क करती हूँ
Okay.
और मैं वाइट लेबलिंग नहीं करती और मैन्युफैक्चर मेरा खुद का है और मैं 2020 से मैं कर रही हूँ।
और आपका इस सेशन से क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस है? आप मतलब कुछ आइडिया लेके आए हो कि मुझे ये सीखना है, ये जानना है, इसके बारे में और जानकारी चाहिए, ऐसे कुछ है?
Actually, I want to know about how can more. How can more business ideas in my business to apply?
हाँ, ठीक है.
बिल्कुल, ये बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट बताया हरदी ने. आई गेस और आज के सेशन में ना हरदी लीशा जो सेशन लेंगे उसमें आपको एक इनसाइट बहुत अच्छा मिलेगा कि हमें आइडियाज से पहले प्रॉब्लम्स को कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करना है जिनको हम सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. तो हमारे ख्याल से आज का सेशन आपको उस तरीके से बहुत बेनिफिशियल रहेगा, राइट? सो बीच में आपके कोई भी क्वेश्चंस हो, कुछ क्वेरीज हो, कुछ सजेशंस हो, प्लीज आप हमको बताइएगा किसी भी समय, राइट?
ओके.
ऑसम.
और आपको हिंदी में सेशन ले वो ज्यादा कंफर्टेबल है कि इंग्लिश हिंदी दोनों मिक्स या इंग्लिश?
दोनों मिक्स.
ठीक है, तो हम ऐसा करते हैं. हम स्टार्ट करें? शुड वी बिगिन?
Yes.
हाँ जी, आई गेस वी कैन स्टार्ट.
We have another new participant as well, I think.
Veena.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, I think she's joining.
हाँ जी, I guess she's just trying to connect to audio. Yeah.
Correct. We'll just wait for her to join.
जी.
और हम ये सेशन ना इंटरैक्टिव रखेंगे बिकॉज जितना आपके क्वेश्चंस है, जितने आपके डाउट्स है, उतने बेहतर है ये सेशन को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए. टू मेक इट मोर इंटरैक्टिव, it's always better that you share your doubts and your questions, and interact, share your points, share your opinions and your thoughts. Okay, I think we can do that.
And Lisha, I guess Veena is also here. Let's just have a quick introduction. And
yes, sure.
Yeah. Hi, Veena.
Hello.
Hi, Veena.
Good evening.
Hi.
If you could just share a little bit about what you do, what are your expectations from this session?
I'm actually driving, so I'll not be able to share a screen or something. Is my audio clear?
Your audio is clear.
Okay, so can we talk like this? Is it okay?
Yes, absolutely.
So sorry.
No problem at all. As long as you're able to, hear us and you're able to interact, that's perfect.
Okay, that works. Yeah. So, hello.
Yes,
so basically we
just
a little introduction of what you do and what you're expecting out of this session, Veena.
Yeah. So I am a startup founder. I have my own company, Birth Second Private Limited, which started in 2021. So we are a medical device company dealing with medical devices of catering to pregnant women. So we are working on our first product, which is named as Birth Mitra, which acts as a supportive delivery bed with flexible features, which can be.
You've gone on mute. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Veena.
Yeah. And so we are developing the product. I have raised a few grants right now, till now, and we are working on the MVP right now. So I'm looking for further funding opportunities and grants which can help me develop the MVP.
Okay, okay, all right. So in today's session, mainly what we're going to cover is this is going to be like a perspective that you get in your journey. We are hoping to help you understand and see the loopholes. Okay, how to actually ensure that your idea is solid. That's what we're going to do today. And on Friday when we meet, which is the second part of the session, we'll do some certain very practical things about what are some of the ideation techniques that you need, or your business model canvas is something that we will cover in that session, which is again a very important tool to have. So on Friday's session also, please be present, because it will be a continuation. Okay, are we good to begin?
Sorry, Lisha, the next session is on Thursday.
Sorry, Thursday. Sorry, my bad.
No problem. No problem.
Thursday.
The next session will be on 10th. So that's completely all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so just give me a
Yeah,
minute.
that works. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to quickly share my screen with you. Yeah. Is everyone able to view my screen?
Yes, it's all
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay. So today we will just embark on this journey of how to build an idea. Business start honing. I know all of you have a business already, or a business idea. You all are already in progress. Lekin even before starting, let's see whether our ideas are foolproof. How can we better ideas? ये कैसे हम बेहतर बना सकते हैं? हमारा जो business idea already है हमारे पास, उसको हम कैसे बेहतर बना सकते हैं? जो भी चीजें हैं जो हमें ब्लॉक कर रही है, माइंडसेट जो हमें ब्लॉक कर रहा है, okay, what are the things that are becoming barriers for us? We'll try to break all of that. We'll try to see how to improvise on our ideas better. Okay, so that's what we are going to look at in today's session, how to really build an entrepreneurial idea. And Pallavi, since you're also already here and you've attended the session before, feel free to even add your experience, add your feedback, interact, talk about certain practical things that maybe you've taken away from these things, or things that you've not seen before. Make use of this session to look at it through a different lens also. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So today I'm going to take you through 3 things. Why should I build an idea? ये idea क्यों मतलब क्यों हमें क्यों चाहिए एक business idea, क्यों चाहिए, कैसे करेंगे हम ये, और क्या करेंगे? Okay, why should I even come up with an idea? How should I come up with an idea, and what should I do? That we're going to look at today. On Thursday when we meet, we'll practically see, हम practically देखिए हम ये कैसे करेंगे और क्या करेंगे, practical steps to execute your idea. That's what we're going to look at on Thursday. So let's begin with the first one. Why should I even come up with an idea? अक्सर हम लोग सोचते हैं ना, मैं ऐसे क्यों करूं, why should I come up with an idea? ये किसी और के लिए है, someone else should do it, someone else should come up with these things, why should I come up with this? Often we have this question of why should I, because we're afraid of certain things. We have certain fears, certain inhibitions, certain reactions that we have. What are some of the reactions that you had even before you maybe had an idea, or now that you have an idea? What are some of your fears or inhibitions that you have? You can feel free to share, and then I'll talk about some of them.
So basically, a lot of fears comes in mind before starting. Before I also started, a lot of question was there in my mind, whether I will be able to do it, whether my idea is really that good or not, and
Absolutely.
it will be really liked by people or not. So these are the things I really, and still I am figuring out, because I started retail around 6 months back. So I am really confused whether it's really good or not. But after some feedback from customers and everyone, I really have positive hopes also.
Awesome. Okay, but thank you for being very real and honest with us. That sometimes we wonder, am I really capable? Is this good enough? Is this something that works for my clients? or not? Is this going to be successful? Okay, what else? और क्या हम सोचते हैं जो बिजनेस स्टार्ट करने से पहले हमारे मन में कुछ डर होता है, वो क्या वो किस तरह का डर आप महसूस करते हो हार्दी?
हेलो।
हाँ
हाँ, एक्चुअली ना मुझे कोई डर ही नहीं लगता है बिजनेस में, क्योंकि मुझे ना आइडियाज और वगैरह कुछ नए नए इनोवेटिव चाहिए। और बिजनेस का तो यही रूल है ना कि रिस्क तो लेना ही है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, और वही करेक्ट एटीट्यूड है। ओके, वही करेक्ट एटीट्यूड है। व्हाट अबाउट यू वीना? डिड हैव यू हैड एनी रिएक्शंस और फियर्स?
Reaction from the users, you mean?
No, just for yourself, you know, even before you ventured out or began with your business, certain inhibitions or thoughts that you've had?
No, actually, I started working in startups earlier. Before even my own startup, I was earlier working in startups. So I was
Awesome.
quite know about the ecosystem and had a proper network before even I started. So
Awesome,
that's not a
awesome,
problem for me.
awesome. So you already went through that, you were trained, you were seasoned for it, and so, you know, naturally you were prepared for it. That's great. I love, you know,
Yeah.
whatever all of y'all have shared, and that's the right way to go about it. Okay, but normally in an entrepreneurial journey, mostly when you're just beginning and you're starting on your own, people are met with three reactions, or they have three reactions. One is reluctance. Okay, और reluctance मतलब वो सोचते हैं कि क्या मुझे ये करना है या नहीं करना है. ओके, और सेल्फ डाउट, एम आई रियली केपेबल ऑफ डूइंग दिस? क्या मैं ये कर सकती हूँ कि नहीं कर सकती हूँ? और फियर ऑफ फेलियर, जो कि यू नो, व्हाट इफ दिस डजंट वर्क? लेकिन हार्दी ने जैसे बोला, जस्ट एज हार्दी सेड, यू हैव टू टेक अ रिस्क, you know, and her focus is on coming up with something innovative. When you're coming up with something innovative, you're naturally helping people out. They're getting sometimes benefits from what you're doing. And so we're going to look at how these reactions are barriers, and we need to break these barriers or these reactions. Very quickly we look at it. I'm going to tell you a story first to deal with the barrier of reluctance, you know, the whole question of should I even do this or not. For Hardi and Veena, since Pallavi has already been in the session, so she knows, she can give us the solution maybe. Hardi और Veena, आपको पिक्चर में क्या दिख रहा है? What do you see in the picture?
It's a water body with a dry land, maybe.
Okay. What is that little structure that you can see, or do you see a problem in the picture? इस पिक्चर में कुछ प्रॉब्लम नजर आ रहा है?
There is a bridge which is not actually meant for the purpose. It is on land itself.
Absolutely. Okay, there is a bridge which is on land and the water is somewhere else. So let's understand, Pallavi, you know, can I request you to share the story? Because I don't think people would build a bridge on land when there's no water flowing under it. So Pallavi, would you like to tell us what actually happened, if you remember?
Yeah, I remember. So basically, what happened? The bridge was made before there was a water flow in below the bridge, but after few I think what we say that
Hurricanes?
after hurricane, the water path changed to this other direction. So that's why this bridge is off to this place.
ओके ओके, थैंक यू सो मच पल्लवी. सो ये ब्रिज सेंट्रल अमेरिका में बनाया गया था. ये जो रीजन है, यहाँ पे बहुत सारा बहुत बाढ़ आता था. लॉट्स ऑफ स्टॉर्म्स, लॉट्स ऑफ हरिकेन्स इन दिस रीजन वुड फेस अ लॉट ऑफ दैट. And so engineers came together and they said, let's build a bridge over this Honduras River, the river that is flowing on the side. Okay, let's build a bridge over it, a very good, strong, resilient bridge. And so they called all the best engineers. Okay, they had the best design in mind, best infrastructure, best materials that they used to build this bridge. But unfortunately, it just so happened that in the year that they were going to inaugurate this bridge for use, there was a storm in that region, and a huge hurricane called Hurricane Mitch, which completely changed the course of the river. So the river that was flowing under the bridge now started flowing beside it. And so the purpose of the bridge was not served, and it came to be known as the bridge that leads to nowhere. Okay. The reason I'm telling you this story or sharing, the background to this picture here on the screen is because often in life, when we look around us in society, जब हम बाहर देखते हैं, there are lots of things that are constantly changing. Society is constantly evolving. Society is constantly changing. And we have certain fixed mindsets. We've had certain ideas. We've had certain business plans, which are solid and brilliant. But if we are not flexible with what we're doing, with our ideas, with our business plans, it may not serve any purpose when the society around us and their needs change. Okay, let's look at this river as nothing but the needs people have or the problems we're solving with our businesses, with the ideas that we have. With time, you need to be mindful of what are the changes happening around me, what are the needs of my clients and my users that are changing around me, because if they're changing, then we need to adapt to changing times. And so does our business or our idea. Okay, often what happens is a lot of us are very comfortable with where we are at. We don't want to change, but change requires risk. Just like this cartoon character here, in order to change, you've got to take a leap, you've got to take some sort of risk in order to even grab opportunities to bring about changes in the society that we live in, and to lead eventually to growth and development. We're so used to doing what everybody else is doing, and so we're always getting only what everyone else gets. But as people, working towards having an entrepreneurial mindset, okay, we need to be change makers. We need to be people who look around us and see opportunities. Okay, we need to be people who target those opportunities and bring about changes. If we always do what we've always done, we'll only get what we've always got, and there will be no progress. अगर हम वही करते रहे जो हम हमेशा करते आए हैं, तो कोई प्रोग्रेस नहीं होने वाला है, डेवलपमेंट नहीं होने वाला है हमारी सोसाइटी में. बट अगर हम देखें और समझे कि क्या अपॉर्चुनिटीज है, क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है हमारे आसपास, कौन से प्रॉब्लम को हम सॉल्व कर सकते हैं विद आवर आइडिया, विद आवर बिजनेस, then we'll actually be bringing about changes. Okay, and we need to get out of our comfort zone. So why should I come up with an idea? Is because the power of change is actually inside of us. We need to embrace the need for change to remain relevant. Just like the bridge did not, was not flexible enough to accommodate the events that would change in life, eventually the changes that would come about. And so the bridge became a bridge to nowhere, irrelevant. We shouldn't be like that bridge to nowhere. We need to change with changing times, come up with ideas that can change with changing times to remain relevant. Okay, so why should I come up with an idea? To embrace the need for change. We need to be change makers and change bringers. The next reaction. Okay, so the reason we are breaking all of these barriers is because these are mindsets. And if we deal with these mindsets, we'll be in a much better position to look at opportunities or to see things differently. Okay, everyone's understanding? All good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
The next big barrier is self-doubt. Am I really capable? Because even if we start off confident, sometimes just because we're human, along the way, there's a tendency of even doubting what we're doing. There's a tendency of thinking, maybe this is just not good enough, maybe I'm not really capable of coming up with an idea. So let's break that barrier as well. All of us know that we have two parts of our brain, right? We have the left and the right hemisphere. None of us just has half a brain. The thing is that mostly we have been trained to use the left part of our brain, the analytical side of our brain. हमारे पास दो पार्ट्स होते हैं, है ना, लेफ्ट हेमिस्फीयर, राइट हेमिस्फीयर. द राइट हेमिस्फीयर वो हमारा क्रिएटिव साइड है, हमारा क्रिएटिविटी, यू नो, द वे वी थिंक डिफरेंटली, वो हमारा राइट हेमिस्फीयर है. लेकिन स्कूल में हम सीखते हैं कि क्रिएटिविटी मतलब सिर्फ ड्राइंग, सिर्फ क्राफ्ट, यू नो, और सिर्फ वो कुछ ही लोग कर सकते हैं, सिर्फ कुछ लोग क्रिएटिव है, सब लोग क्रिएटिव नहीं है. बट दैट्स नॉट ट्रू, बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ अस आर creative. It's just that we need to tap into that side of creativity. Creativity has nothing to do with art. It has everything to do with thinking differently. That's the only difference. Okay. And often when we are thinking about, am I really capable? Yes, everyone is capable, because everyone has the ability to think creatively. It's just that they haven't tapped into that ability yet. Another problem with you know, when we think about, am I really capable, is because we're chasing only success. Okay, we want to come up with a brilliant idea, and we want our idea to be the greatest. What if I give you an example of I have designed a product, and I've shared this example before. I have designed goggles. ठीक है, मैंने गॉगल्स डिजाइन करी हूँ. एक ये बस एक यू नो उदाहरण है. मैंने गॉगल्स डिजाइन किया है जो रात को ग्लो करते हैं. दे ग्लो इन द डार्क, इन द नाइट, बट व्हेन आई वेयर देम आई कांट सी. ओके, बट दे आर लवली नियॉन शेड्स ऑफ कलर. हु इज गोइंग टू बाय दिस फ्रॉम मी? विल यू बाय इट फ्रॉम मी? क्या आप ये गॉगल्स मुझसे खरीदेंगे? Yes, no?
No, obviously. When you cannot see, nobody will buy.
Okay, absolutely. Because it's not serving you any purpose. It may be very beautiful. Like just like that, we may have great ideas. We may think, no, my idea is beautiful. Arey, it glows in the dark. It has neon colors. You know, when somebody sees, it looks glamorous. It looks amazing. But for the consumer says, but I don't have any need. What's the point of me wearing it? And I can't even see the next step. You know, it's not serving me any purpose. So often what happens is, we think that our brilliant idea, that is the starting point. You know, we think, let's come up with a brilliant idea. We'll go about, you know, designing this, developing it, and it has to work. That's the problem. You know, that's the mistake we make. Okay, that we start off with our brilliant idea. Instead, what do you think should be the starting point? If your brilliant idea is not the starting point, what should be the starting point according to you? Veena, Hardi, अभी मैंने बोला कि हम ज्यादातर क्या करते हैं, हमारा जो आइडिया है वो हम सोचते हैं कि दैट्स आवर स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट, वहां से हमें मतलब शुरू करना चाहिए. लेकिन अभी मैंने उदाहरण दिया मेरे गॉगल्स का, उसका तो कोई यूज नहीं है, है ना, लेकिन मेरे मन में वो ब्रिलियंट आइडिया है. तो हमारा जो ब्रिलियंट आइडिया है, दैट्स नॉट ऑलवेज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट, दैट्स नॉट ऑलवेज द फर्स्ट स्टेप. What can be the starting point? What should be the starting point?
Understanding the user need, because user should be always center of any idea.
Absolutely, very good. What else? Hardi?
हाँ, वही
Seeing if there are any
कस्टमर
solutions.
की नीड, और फिर हमारा इनोवेटिव आइडियाज एंड ऑल.
Seeing if
Okay.
there are any solutions available already, and if yes, then what is the problem with those? Why are they not using it, or what are they missing out?
Awesome.
And then understanding if there is a real future in it, like as you told, the bridge thing, we should at least
Correct.
see from 5 years from now, or at least 1 year from now, what will
Correct.
be the use case.
Correct. So
Only after all these points are met, then we have to start about thinking the idea.
brilliant, Veena. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. Okay, that's, you beautifully summed up everything. Thank you, Hardi, also. तो आप दोनों बिल्कुल सही हो. Our idea should never be the starting point. The user's problems, their needs are the starting point. What need does the user have? What need does the client have? That is the starting point. The problem is the starting point. After we have identified the problem, And when we empathize with the user, oh, this is what they are feeling, this is what they are going through, that is what is actually going to lead us to a solution and give us a lovely idea. And this is also the process of idea generation. Identify the problem, empathize with them, understand how can I improve the situation, how can I build something that will ease their pain, what benefits can they have from this, and what solution can I come up with. This is the actual journey. If we keep this in mind, we don't actually have to worry of whether we are capable or not, because we are not doing this alone. Okay, I will talk about that later as well. Things to also help us, in identifying the problem correctly are the 6 very basic points, which all of you, I'm sure, know about, which is observation, observing, around you, what are the actual problems, listening to customer feedback, what are they sharing, just like Veena said, understanding their needs, being curious about what already exists, how can we, what are the limitations, how can we, bring about a solution to the limitations they're already facing, how can we empathize, reimagine the solution, and create something. These are 6 important points. So self-doubt, we don't have to fear at all, because the power of creation is already inside of you. And you can always go up to your user to understand, what is the real problem, what is their real need. And the final reaction, which is the fear of failure. Why do we fear failure? If I have to ask you, why do we fear failure? हम फेल होने से इतना डरते क्यों?
Firstly, we don't know what the future is. I mean, we don't know when we're starting, we don't know what the outcome will be. And secondly, it's our mindset. We are always taught not to fail, but rather we have to fail and then learn and again restart. That is not what we are taught for. We're always taught not to fail. So that is always there. And then comes the time. We always think that if we fail after a certain point of time, then there is no going back maybe.
Okay, lovely points that you've shared. One is uncertainty. हमें पता नहीं कि future में क्या होने वाला है. Okay, so we are so afraid, and so we never try because we are uncertain about what's going to happen. Then हम ऐसे culture में रहते हैं. We live in such a culture that does not encourage us failing, doesn't encourage mistakes. हमें हम स्कूल में, कॉलेज में, सोसाइटी में सीखते हैं कि फेलियर होना बुरी बात है. It's not good to fail, and so we don't like failing. Third point that Veena shared is time. कभी-कभी हम सोचते हैं कि देखो बच्चे थे तब मिस्टेक्स कर सकते थे, we could probably fail, but as we maybe grew older and after a particular time, it's we can't fail. It's not allowed. Okay, awesome points. Anything else? हार्दी, हम फेल होने से इतना डरते क्यों हैं?
अकॉर्डिंग टू मी कि हमारे जो कॉम्पिटिटर है, जो हमारी फील्ड पर ही वर्क कर रहे हैं, हम जब उनको देखते हैं, जब हम अर्ली स्टेज पर स्टार्ट करते हैं और वो काफी ग्रो स्टेज पर होते हैं, तब हमको फियर लगता है थोड़ा कि मैं कर पाऊंगी या नहीं, फिर और कुछ.
ओके, जब हम कंपेयर करते हैं खुद को, वो बोलना चाहते हो? हाँ, है ना? हाँ, जब हम जहाँ पे है देखते हैं और हमारे कंपेटिटर्स को देखते हैं, और अगर कंपैरिजन हो तो हम डरते हैं कि नहीं, क्या हम ये कर पाएंगे या नहीं, व्हाट इफ आई फेल, शायद वो एम्बैरेसिंग हो जाएगा.
जो हमने जो विजन देखा है वो हम कर पाएंगे या नहीं और कुछ.
करेक्ट. ओके, एब्सोल्युटली. लेकिन एक मेन कॉज है फेलियर का. ओके, जो भी आप सबने बोला है एब्सोल्युटली राइट, लेकिन ज्यादातर हम फेल होने से इसलिए डरते हैं क्योंकि रूट उसका ये है कि we don't want to be rejected. We fear the risk of rejection. Either our ideas being rejected or us being rejected or disqualified from that particular sector or industry. The biggest risk we face is the risk of rejection. But this is a risk that we have to embrace if we are entrepreneurs. Yes, our ideas may fail. Yes, what we have proposed may fail, but that's okay, because that only tells us that there is a better solution and we need to find out what that is. Often We try to solve problems by designing a product or coming up with a business idea all by ourselves alone, and then we will present it in the market. जैसे मैंने किया, like what I did with my goggles. I designed it brilliantly, beautifully alone. I did not take feedback, and I, went one day to sell it, but no, I had no customers or clients for it because it was not solving any problem. That's mainly what we do. The creator creates something, gives it to the user returns it because he has no use for it. And this can go on if the creator continues to design on his own. अगर हम ये जर्नी खुद से अकेले में करते हैं without taking customer feedback, okay, we will be met by failure, because we need to understand from our clients whose problems we are solving whether this product is really solving their problem. And so the better option is co-creation, not to create something on our own, but to co-create, understand the problem, understand the need, and create along with our user or with our client. In that way, we don't need to fear failure, but we just need to embrace the power of co-creation. Does this help? क्या ये आपके डर को ओवरकम करने में हेल्प कर रहा है? फियर ऑफ फेलियर एटलीस्ट, क्योंकि अभी प्रेशर आपके ऊपर नहीं है, आपको सिर्फ आपके कस्टमर से फीडबैक लेना है, पूछना है कि आपको अगर आप ये प्रोडक्ट यूज करने वाले हो या जो भी आपका बिजनेस है, आपके क्या फीडबैक है, आपको क्या चाहिए, व्हाट आर द फीचर्स दैट यू वांट इन इट, व्हाट आर यू एक्सपेक्टिंग फ्रॉम इट, एंड हाउ कैन यू, आप कैसे उनके जो फीडबैक को जो है जो उन्होंने दिया है कैसे आप इनकॉर्पोरेट करते हो आपके आइडिया में. So there's no need to fear failure because you can embrace the power of co-creation. Does that help? Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
obviously.
Okay. So now we're almost done with the first segment. Okay. Now that we have completely overcome these barriers of why should I, why should I even come up with an idea? Let's understand what is entrepreneurship and how should I come up with an idea. तो आपके हिसाब से what is entrepreneurship? I'll give you a very interesting definition after that. आपके हिसाब से entrepreneurship क्या है? Yes? Veena, Hardi?
Yes. What is, you wanted me to answer this?
Yeah, in your own words, because I want to understand from y'all, how have y'all been seeing entrepreneurship?
So entrepreneur is someone who thinks of a solution, not the problem, because everybody knows the problem around us. I mean, there are many problems and everybody knows the problems. It's only few people who understand the problem and then tries to find a solution.
Correct.
And entrepreneurship is something about knowing that you're taking a risk and taking calculated risk and then working towards your own thing, because you will have your own identity, your own company, your own team. You know all that, and there are risks involved and perks involved again. Knowing all that, you take it up and then go forward.
Absolutely.
So you're ready for failure, ready for anything.
Correct. And also in this thing that I'm going to share with you, it's also absolutely like what Veena said, you're pursuing opportunities. You're just going ahead, taking your risk, calculated risk, pursuing opportunities. But one very important thing is you are doing it beyond, your fear of, do I have enough finances for it or no? Because like I think it was Veena only who shared in the beginning that she wanted to know more about funding related details and all of that. So sometimes what keeps us back from embarking on this journey is we don't have the finance. Sometimes ज़्यादातर हम क्या सोचते हैं, we don't have the resources. मेरे पास ये सारी चीजें नहीं हैं. Maybe I don't have enough of finances for this venture, for this product, and that discourages us. But entrepreneurship is actually you pursuing opportunities without the concern of these resources, beyond resources control, because there will always be agencies or investors who would invest in that idea, and you will always have people who will support you with the resources. Okay, so that shouldn't be a fear. Entrepreneurship, ultimately, it's not a job, it's a mindset, and that's what we are targeting. Now let's look at the next part, which is how should I come up with an idea? In this particular segment, we are going to go through 2 breakthrough approaches, okay, which is going to just exercise your brain a little bit to think differently. अभी हम क्या देखेंगे कि हम कैसे करेंगे, कैसे how should we build up an idea, ये हम कैसे करेंगे. Okay, we often think that we need to invent something that does not exist before, but that's not true, because mostly what we need already exists. But we have to ideation or coming up with an idea is not about inventing something new. It's an ability to think differently about something which everybody sees all the time. Okay, so we're going to have 2 breakthrough approaches that is going to help us think differently or build this art of thinking differently. To do that, first I want to solve a mystery, but you have to help me solve a mystery. Veena, Hardi, ready to solve a mystery? I know you're driving, Veena, but like you can just maybe,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
No
just
problem. I am there.
Okay, we're going to solve a mystery. I'm sure all of us love all of that. We love solving mysteries. We love crime patrol. We love the drama. Thrillers keep us on our on the edge of our seats whenever we're watching a thriller. So I'm sure you'll do great at this. Okay, so I'm going to give you a scenario and you have to solve the mystery for me. Now, it was a Sunday afternoon. It was a breezy Sunday afternoon. Leila and Majnu were found dead on the 22nd floor of a high-rise building. We only know 3 things. 1, that the window was open. There were pieces of glass on the floor and there was water on the floor. How did Leila and Majnu die? Okay, this is what you have to solve for me. You can ask me questions, but only yes, no type of questions, close-ended questions. And by asking me questions, let's see if you're able to solve this mystery. हार्दी, आपको समझ में आया?
Yes, yes.
हाँ, तो आप हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हो, इंग्लिश में भी, whatever you're comfortable. Yes, no type के questions. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
How did Leila and Majnu die? You can start asking me questions, or I'm assuming you're thinking.
There were only pieces of glass and water and the open window. That's all, right?
Yes, yes.
So in yes or no questions, can we ask like, did they kill themselves?
Yes,
no.
you can definitely ask questions like that. Absolutely.
Okay. So did they kill themselves?
No.
Were there anybody else in the room?
No. Very good. I mean, I like these questions. They're good.
There was a glass of water or some water thrown on the floor. Like, what is it like?
Was there a glass of water that was thrown on the
Yes.
floor? No.
Okay, so you said 3 things, right? One was, could you please repeat that question once again?
Yes. So the window was open. There were pieces of glass on the floor, and there was water on the floor.
Water on the floor. Were there bloodstains on the piece of glass?
No. Interesting. I love that you're asking me lots of questions, Veena. Hardi?
So they were founded on the 22nd floor itself, right? They were not founded down or somewhere,
No, no, no.
right?
No, inside only they were founded. Okay, come on, great that you all are thinking. What else? How do you think they died? Hardi is writing a full script. Hardi, आप पूरा script लिख रहे हो मन में?
Yes, yes, but I can't understand. So
Okay,
They might have had poison or something. And
did they have poison? No. Come
No,
on, I'll
it
take
is.
I'll take 3 more questions. And then we'll have Pallavi who can share the answer with us. Because she has attended this session before.
Yes, I have it in the last sessions.
Yes. So 3 more questions we'll take from Hardi and Veena.
poison on there?
Poison नहीं. आप हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हो, whatever language you are comfortable in. Hindi, Konkani, Marathi, English. Besides that, I will not understand.
Okay.
Okay, 2 more questions. Give up.
Okay, so they were shot
Sorry?
dead from someone on the other building of 22nd floor through the window.
No, but I love that you're thinking. Awesome. But no, they were not shot dead. So the answer is going to blow your mind, okay? Because I'm sure you have not thought about this.
There were glasses
yes.
on the floor. Just think glasses on the floor. Water glasses.
Okay, so Behamni, Veena and Hardi, did you all think Laila and Majnu were human beings?
They were the fishes. Were they fishes?
Yes, exactly. Because they were not human beings, they were fishes. Okay, so Pallavi, can you tell them what actually happened that Sunday afternoon?
It was a stormy day and the window was open. Because of that, the bowl fell down and the Laila Majnun died.
Yes, so Laila and Majnu were 2 fishes that were in a fish bowl that was kept on a table. Because it was a stormy, windy, breezy Sunday afternoon, the window was swung open with the wind and it toppled the fish bowl that was on the table. It fell. That is how there were pieces of glass on the floor, water on the floor, and Laila and Majnu, that were 2 fishes, died that morning. Okay, often our tendency is when we hear names like that, because they're human like names, right, we think of it as, okay, these must be human beings, and that's why we came up with questions accordingly, like did they have poison, were they shot, were they killed, was there another person in the room, right? Because we're thinking of them as human beings. But the moment we try to think of things from a different angle by challenging the obvious, what actually happens is maybe we will come to the solution faster. Okay, the first and the most important breakthrough approach is to challenge the obvious. We are very used to looking at things through a particular lens, through a particular perspective, but the moment you challenge what seems obvious to you, it may actually lead you to a solution for certain problems where you are met with a dead end. Okay, very, very important to that's why challenge the obvious. I will show you some pictures. These are problems that we face every day. Okay, one is of the switchboard. How many of us, when we go to a new house, we struggle with finding out which is a light switch, which is a fan switch, and we often have to switch multiple buttons on and off. Yes, don't we face this problem? We put one thing off and then put it on, put it off to check, is this the light, is this the bulb, is this the fan, is this the AC button? Don't we struggle with this issue? Yes, no? Only me?
We do.
Yeah. So how, what according to you could be the solution for this? Let's take one, then I'll go through more pictures. Let's try and challenge the obvious. What do you think we can do for this problem? This is a common problem, no? Remember we said ideation is about not inventing something new, but coming up with an innovative solution for problems that already exist. So this is a problem that already exists. How can we come up with a solution for this? You can give me some ideas. Yes?
Switchboard remote.
Okay, have a switchboard remote, maybe. Awesome. Anything else?
Markings will work. You just need to know which switch is for what, right?
Okay, markings may work, but it may not work if somebody is visually challenged, right? Or they are unable to see them, then it will not work. But that's another solution. Okay, having a remote is a solution. Sometimes, I'll have some people say maybe Alexa, have like an electronic thing that will, which is controlled by your voice, and you can switch on the lights, switch off the lights without having to struggle with these buttons. So those are some solutions. Another problem we face is often getting disturbed by the sound of a mixer, right? Which, we've gone through this when we've been studying. Our mom uses the mixer maybe, and in the next room when we're studying, we're disturbed because of it. This is another everyday problem that can have a solution. We can work with certain equipment that's more soundproof, or materials that can absorb sound in order to minimize the noise. Okay, some sort of silencer mechanisms. I don't know. If we challenge the obvious, think out of the box, we may have creative solutions for this as well. Another problem is baby shoes, because babies outgrow their shoes very quickly, and it's not always economical to keep buying shoes. Maybe this can be a product that can be designed differently, designed better, have certain things to extend the shoe as the feet grows. Some sort of mechanism, some sort of innovative design as well. Ice cream, when we're eating ice cream, the problem of it melting. Now, this may seem as a very ordinary, everyday problem, which we have even overlooked, but you never know. We can also come up with a solution for the issue of ice cream melting on your hand. Of course, ice cream will melt. So that is not the main problem. The problem is what contains the ice cream. So how can we change that, without it being wasted, without the cone getting soggy? Those were some of the things that we could actually come up with solutions for by challenging the obvious. The second breakthrough approach is finding the common thing in two uncommon things and innovating an idea or coming up with an innovative solution. I have two products on the screen. One is a shoe and one is a pencil. Often when we've been writing in school, have you noticed that, the finger on which our pencil rests, it either pains or gets bruised or gets, gets a corn on, you get a corn on that finger and you struggle to write because the surface of the pencil is hard. So how can we draw inspiration from the shoe and come up with a solution for this problem? Yes? यहाँ पे जो पेंसिल है, जब हम लिखते हैं तो जब हम परीक्षा के लिए लिखते हैं या बहुत तेजी से लिखते हैं तो हमारी जो उंगली है वो दुखने लगता है. तो यहाँ पे हम इंस्पिरेशन कैसे ले सकते हैं एक जूते से, और एक प्रोडक्ट कैसे बना सकते हैं इसको आसान करने के लिए। ये जो हमारा प्रॉब्लम है, जो हम दिखते हैं, जो हमारे हाथ दुखते हैं, उसके लिए हम सोल्यूशन कैसे ले आ सकते हैं जूते से इंस्पिरेशन लेके। हाउ कैन वी फाइंड द कॉमन इन टू अनकॉमन थिंग्स?
By adding cushion part of the shoes.
Absolutely. Okay, some sort of cushioning, because the problem is that comfort is affected ना with the pencil when you're writing. आपके fingers को वो pain करता है, तो cushioning जो जूते में जब हम पहनते हैं उसका surface soft होता है अंदर, right? Because we have to walk and our feet shouldn't hurt. Similarly, we can draw inspiration from a shoe of some sort of cushioning to hold on to that pencil. Okay. Now pencil और जूता बहुत unrelated है, uncommon चीजें हैं, दो uncommon चीजें हैं, लेकिन can we find a solution between, from another uncommon thing? Yes, and we can do that by connecting the dots. So inspiration हर जगह है, in all products and all services. You can always draw inspiration from a completely unrelated service or product as well to improvise on your own idea. With that, we come to the last part of our session for today, which is what should I do? Okay, हम आखिर में क्या कर सकते हैं, क्या करना चाहिए हमें, वो हम फाइनली देखेंगे, and with that I will end the session. Okay, यहाँ पे भी कुछ हम प्रैक्टिकल टेक्निक सीखने वाले हैं, सीखेंगे, वो हम देखेंगे अभी. Okay, so we have all established, right? Is idea the starting point? Yes, no? A quick
Sorry,
yes or
could you
no?
please ask again?
Yeah, just a quick yes or no. We have already established. Is idea the starting point?
No.
No, right? The problem or the customer's needs, or the consumer's needs, that is the starting point. So let's look at that. We'll look at how can we solve problems better. Okay. All of you can see a picture on the screen. है ना, आप सबको एक पिक्चर दिख रहा है स्क्रीन पे.
Yes.
क्या आपको प्रॉब्लम नजर आ रहा है इस पिक्चर में? Do you see a problem?
I couldn't see the picture actually.
Now can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. Do you see a problem in the picture? क्या
Yes,
आपको कोई?
there's a problem.
Yes. What's the problem?
Everybody, irrespective of their heights, are given the same height increasing thing.
Correct. Okay. And so the little boy, as a result, cannot see the match because he's short. So how can we solve this problem?
Customizing the solution. So each one, according to their needs, the solution should be provided. Shorter boy should get the highest support. The middle one, the normal. The third one, the least.
Okay. So let's look at that. This is what you've suggested, right?
Yes.
Do you think that the problem is completely solved? Remember,
not completely here also.
Okay, because remember I said in the idea generation process, in your process of generating an idea, identifying the problem correctly is very important, and we can do that by empathizing with the user. So put yourself in their place. Imagine you're standing and watching that match, so put yourself in their shoes, and tell me that even after the solution that you provided, which is a decent solution, is there difficulties that you still face?
Yes, maybe you can add two more. Like the first one get only one because one is good enough for his height. So the other will get two, and the third one will get two or three, maybe depending on the requirement.
Okay, what else can be done? Think. और क्या कर सकते हैं हम हार्दी? क्या हमारा प्रॉब्लम पूरी तरह से सॉल्व हो चुका है? Yeah, I'm giving you all time to think. We have a lot of time, so you can think over it. Tell me, because it's very important to identify the problem correctly.
ये जो हाइट का इशू है वो तो सॉल्व हो गया है क्योंकि एवरीबॉडी सी मेज वेल।
लेकिन फिर भी कोई प्रॉब्लम है? आप अपने आप को उनकी जगह पे डाल के देखो कि और क्या प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है। क्या हमने करेक्ट प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई किया है? हैव वी आइडेंटिफाइड द राइट प्रॉब्लम? बिकॉज राइट नाउ वी हैव आइडेंटिफाइड हाइट एज द प्रॉब्लम, लेकिन क्या
Yes.
हमने करेक्ट प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई किया है?
Maybe we can come out of the window directly and see the match by their naked eyes and directly, so that will be more.
Okay, but if they do that, they'll be
Comfortable.
on the field. But good, at least you're thinking. So what can they do? Because if we do what you're saying, then the ball might just hit them, right? So football match, there would be, they might be hurt.
Understood. Understood. Maybe the window can, space can come a little bit down where they can sit and watch from through the window itself.
Okay, we can either lower it. Okay, what else? Hardi. So one thing, do you see that as you're trying to empathize, you've realized that height is not the problem, but the fence is the problem? Correct? क्योंकि height को हम नहीं बदल सकते हैं. That is something we have by default, correct? So that can never be the problem. The problem is the obstacle, correct? Is the fence, right? That's why now you're trying to work around the fence. Am I right?
Yes.
So either we can do what Veena is saying, which is lower it and have a sort of a stand where they can sit, or have a mesh that they can see through and there's a boundary and it's not affected, right? Because football matches are long, correct? Can they just continue standing? Can they just keep on adding boxes? No, it won't be practical. It will be a short-term solution, but it can't be a long-term practical solution, right? That's and so it's very important to identify the problem correctly, because once we identify the problem correctly, it will lead us to our solution much quicker and we don't have to struggle with that. So sometimes what we may start off by thinking to be the problem may not be the real problem. As long as we dig deeper, pay attention and empathize with our user, put ourselves in their shoes, we will be in a better position to identify the problem correctly. Okay, this is what Albert Einstein says. उसको सिर्फ 1 घंटा दिया गया है सॉल्यूशन के लिए, तो वो 55 मिनट सिर्फ प्रॉब्लम के बारे में सोचेगा, ये मैं कैसे सॉल्व करूं, प्रॉब्लम आखिर में है क्या, मेन इश्यू क्या है, वो प्रॉब्लम के बारे में सोचेगा जो उसे सॉल्व करना है, और 5 मिनट वो सोल्यूशन के लिए देगा. बिकॉज if we spend more time with the problem, automatically we will be led to the solution very, very quickly. Okay. And this is again a reminder of the process of building an idea, which is identify the problem correctly, empathize, that is going to give you ideas, innovative solutions, and ultimately lead you to the solution that you have. मैं आपको कुछ उदाहरण देने वाली हूँ, कुछ पिक्चर्स दिखाने वाली हूँ. I'm going to show you some pictures of how certain products have changed over time because people have identified the problem that their customers or their users were facing while they were using that product. And over time, how instead of just an idea or a good product, that product has become more user centric, user friendly. Okay. Screen पे आपको ये mouse का journey है, journey of the evolution of a mouse. How earlier maybe it was a more rough box like product which was not very smooth or not very comfortable to hold and move, and how we see that has undergone transformation. How today we have a system where our finger is actually that mouse pad, that it can just touch the screen and it can we can directly intervene without the use of a mouse. Okay, this is only because people said, how can I make this more comfortable for my user? How can I add more benefit to this product? How can I make note of their pain points and transform this product? Another product that underwent transformation was an MRI machine. Okay, nobody likes going through an MRI machine, है ना. ये जो MRI machine दिख रहा है आपको स्क्रीन पे, बच्चों को इसमें जाने से डर लगता है. People are scared. Plus वो बीमार है तो उनके ऑलरेडी डर है because they are already afraid that they are they are unwell, they don't know what to expect, they are uncomfortable, they are uneasy, plus they're so scared that we're going through this machine. Okay, what do you think is the real problem in this? Is the MRI machine the problem, or what is the real problem? Why do children hate MRI machine? Yes, according to you, is the machine the problem?
नो माइंडसेट, क्योंकि चाइल्डहुड से बच्चों को सिखाया गया होता है टीवी में से या फिर मोबाइल में से के वगैरह में से कि ये डॉक्टर के पास होता है. फियर काफी होता है बच्चों में डॉक्टर का, हॉस्पिटल का.
एब्सोल्युटली, वेरी गुड हार्दी. तो प्रॉब्लम डर है ना. मशीन को हम नहीं बदल सकते क्योंकि मशीन तो अपना काम कर रहा है ना. लेकिन जैसे मशीन को पोर्ट्रे किया है, जैसे बच्चे वो टीवी पे देखते हैं ये मशीन कैसे ऑपरेट होता है, प्लस डॉक्टर का उनको अलग से डर होता है, तो डर बहुत बड़ा इशू है ना. तो उन्होंने क्या किया, व्हाट दे डिड टू ट्राई टू मेक दिस एक्सपीरियंस बेटर, क्योंकि यहाँ पे क्लाइंट कौन है, बच्चे हैं, है ना. सो व्हाट दे डिड वाज, क्योंकि क्लाइंट बच्चे हैं तो उन्होंने क्या किया कि हम बच्चों से ही पूछते हैं कि उनको ये कैसे हम डिजाइन कर सकते हैं बेहतर ताकि उनको डर ना लगे. And so a team of researchers, they sat with children, they gave them charts and they said, can you draw for us, okay, a machine that you would love? तो बच्चों ने ड्रॉ करना स्टार्ट किया क्योंकि ये सारे रिसर्चर्स, डिजाइनर्स समझना चाहते थे कि आखिर में बच्चों को क्या चाहिए, कैसे हम उनके डर को कम कर सके. एंड सो चिल्ड्रन ड्रू जैसे एडवेंचर पार्क और लाइक मोर फ्रेंडली पिक्चर्स. अगर ये मशीन पर फ्रेंड पिक्चर्स होंगे या ये रूम अलग दिखेगा, that they would feel better. And so designers, engineers ने ऐसे MRI मशीन डिजाइन किए हैं जो बच्चों को पसंद आ सके. अभी अगर एक बच्चा और एक चिल्ड्रन एंटर दिस रूम, क्या उन्हें डर लगेगा?
बिल्कुल नहीं.
बिल्कुल नहीं ना. उन्हें लगेगा कि हम कुछ अम्यूजमेंट पार्क जैसे जगह पे है, ये तो मजेदार है, ये तो हम खेल रहे हैं, है ना.
Yes.
वो वाइट रूम नहीं है, डॉक्टर का डर नहीं है, जो मशीन जो अतरंगी दिख रहा है उनका भी डर नहीं है, बट उन्हें ये लगता है कि हम कुछ एडवेंचर करने वाले हैं, समथिंग एक्साइटिंग दैट वी आर गोइंग टू डू. हम टनल के अंदर जाने वाले हैं, हम एक पायरेट है, या हम एक हम टार्जन है, क्योंकि कुछ जंगल वाला सीन दिख रहा है पहले पिक्चर में. एंड दे कैन वो एक्टिंग कर सकते हैं. डॉक्टर्स भी उनके साथ फ्रेंडली बर्ताव कर सकते हैं और से ओके चलो मैं एक हंटर हूँ, आप भी एक शिकारी हो, कम ऑन वी आर गोइंग टू गो थ्रू अ टनल. और ऐसे हम एक एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट कर सकते हैं जहाँ पे डर कम हो. तो मशीन बदला बिल्कुल नहीं, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम को जब रिसर्चर्स डिजाइनर्स ने करेक्टली आइडेंटिफाई किया कि प्रॉब्लम डर है, और उसका जब उन्होंने सोल्यूशन निकाला तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो प्रॉब्लम भी सॉल्व हो गया। उसी तरह एक दूसरा प्रोडक्ट डस्टर्स। ओके, हम देखेंगे कैसे डस्टर्स चेंज हो गए हैं ओवर टाइम। ओके, हाउ पीपल हैव ट्राइड टू चेंज व्हाट अ डस्टर लुक्स लाइक ओवर टाइम। जब टीचर्स डस्टर्स यूज करते हैं, ऑफन पहला डस्टर ऐसे दिखता था, उसका ग्रिप का प्रॉब्लम था। तो आपने शायद जब आप स्कूल में हो तो देखा होगा, टीचर्स जब बोर्ड रब कर रहे हैं तो कभी कभी डस्टर उन पे गिरता है, चॉक डस्ट की वजह से उन पे बहुत सारा उन्हें एलर्जीज होती है ना। सो ओवर टाइम डस्टर्स विद ग्रिप, और जो दूसरा फैब्रिक है फोम का टू डस्ट द बोर्ड, वो इन्वेंट किया है, इनोवेट किया है। फिर over time they realized, okay, maybe we don't need a chalkboard, then whiteboard came into being. So whiteboard dusters were designed, whiteboard dusters with markers. Okay, markers के लिए slots, because sometimes duster गुम हो जाता था या markers गुम हो जाते थे, and so slots for markers, and sometimes dusters attached to a small whiteboard as well. So how it is okay for our product to change over time and become better and more user centric. It need not remain the same, नहीं तो वो bridge की तरह हो जाएगा, irrelevant, correct? And if we do not change with changing times or come up with solutions for problems that we identify over time, we'll be just like that bridge that led to nowhere, being irrelevant. And so it's okay for our products and our services to undergo changes depending on the demands and the concerns that we identify over time. Our ability to think of creative solutions is the second step. Okay, it is important to be creative, लेकिन वो second step है. The first step is to identify which problem to solve correctly. Okay, first step is to identify the problem correctly. Second is to come up with a creative solution. Okay, तो हम एक पिक्चर देख रहे हैं अभी स्क्रीन पे, आप मुझे बताओ कि क्या हो रहा है इस पिक्चर में. What's happening in this picture?
Someone short is trying to take a piece of cloth which is hanged right much above his height.
Okay.
So he's using some sticks and all.
Okay, so maybe you're seeing him struggling with, trying to use some stick. We don't know what he's doing, drying clothes or trying to take it out. Okay. What else? हार्दी, आपको क्या दिख रहा है इस पिक्चर में, क्या हो रहा है?
कपड़े को हैंग किया है ड्राई करने के लिए.
ओके, और क्या दिख रहा है आपको पिक्चर में?
वो जो लेडी है वो प्रॉपर वे में उसको अरेंज कर रही है.
ठीक है, आपको जगह के बारे में क्या इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रहा है? लोकेलिटी के बारे में?
लोकल एरिया.
ठीक है, लोकल एरिया. क्या वो पॉश जगह है? क्या वो पॉश जगह दिख रहा है? No, right? It's looking like maybe a street corner or a slum type area, a place that is under construction.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else or kuch? Maybe if I have to say, maybe he's trying to shoo away some crows that are sitting on the clothes that are drying. Maybe he's just trying to make mischief and he's trying to throw the clothes down. Maybe he's just trying to simply hit the clothes, or he's maybe calling out to his friend who's on the first floor, or his kite is stuck. Maybe he's doing all that. Now, सिर्फ एक पिक्चर को देख के हमारे पास बहुत सारे ऐसे ओपिनियंस है ना, कि क्या हो रहा है, क्या हो सकता है, ये सब हमने सोचा है, लेकिन हम में से किसी ने उनसे डायरेक्टली नहीं पूछा है कि आप क्या कर रहे हो. करेक्ट? कभी कभी हमारे जो जर्नी है, जब हम प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन कर रहे हैं या वे कमिंग अप विद आवर बिजनेस, we have our own perceptions, our own experiences and our own knowledge about what is happening. हमारा जब हम solution के बारे में सोच रहे हैं, हम कुछ चीजों पे रिलाई करते हैं, जो हमारा ज्ञान है, अनुभव है और धारणा है, वो हमारा जो दृष्टिकोण है, हम जिस चीज से हमारा नजरिया है सॉरी, वी रिलाई ऑन दीज थिंग्स विच इज गुड। लेकिन कभी कभी जब हम अकेले ये करते हैं तो वो प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, इट कैन बी अ ब्लॉक टू आइडेंटिफाइंग द प्रॉब्लम, क्योंकि वी आर नॉट को क्रिएटिंग, वी आर नॉट टेकिंग कस्टमर यूजर फीडबैक, वी आर नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग फ्रॉम द कंज्यूमर कि व्हाट आर यू डूइंग, आपको क्या तकलीफ हो रही है, व्हाट डू यू नीड, राइट? सो नॉलेज, एक्सपीरियंस, परसेप्शन इज वेरी गुड, but if we only rely on it, it can be a problem. So these are 3 bottlenecks to identifying a problem: only relying on the knowledge we have, on the experience and the perception that we have. Instead, we need to be able to write we need to be able to ask the right questions, which we will see. We need to be able to ask what, who and why are we doing what we're doing. We will look at that later. Okay, I've just come to the last and the most important thing that I will talk about for today, which is problem statement. Okay, in our journey of identifying a problem, don't only rely on your own knowledge, your own experience and perception, but ask a lot of questions and take a lot of feedback. Okay, अभी मैं स्क्रीन पे आपको कुछ स्टेटमेंट्स दिखाने वाली हूँ. Okay, मैं कुछ सेंटेंसेस दे रही हूँ और मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ कि क्या आपको ये प्रॉब्लम्स नजर आ रहे हैं? आर दीज प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट्स? क्या ये प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट्स है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, देयर इज नो क्लीन वाटर टू ड्रिंक. क्या ये एक प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट है?
That is a situation. The problem may be different or may be the same. Sometimes it depends.
So is this a problem statement?
No, it's not a
So
problem
here the
statement.
situation, I guess, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
because
That's a situation because they don't have water to drink, but the problem
Correct.
may be different also.
Absolutely. Okay, तो यहाँ पे ये सारे सिर्फ complaints है, right? They are only issues. There is no clean water to drink. People lack discipline to put garbage and put garbage on the street. ये सिर्फ complaints है. We don't know who does not have clean water to drink. We don't know where is the problem. We don't know what issue we are tackling. Correct? So these are not problem statements. These are only complaints. Like all of you have rightly said. But it's important for us to come up with a problem statement. And how we can come up with a problem statement is when we look at each complaint and we apply this technique. ये एक technique है, okay, where you ask 5 whys. जब हम 5 बार क्यों ये question हम पूछते हैं to the complaint, that will bring us to the root cause of the problem. So having a complaint is good. It's the first step. But to come up with a problem statement of what exactly is happening and what exactly am I targeting, we need to apply this technique called 5 whys to get to the root cause of that problem. So can we practice this? Can we do this with any 2 statements? Yes? Yeah, can we practice this asking 5 whys? We will ask 5 whys to each complaint. Okay, any 2 complaints. हम 5 बार क्यों ये प्रश्न पूछेंगे to each complaint. This will help us come to the real root cause of the problem, and we'll see what we thought about at the start may actually not even be the problem, but the root of the problem is very different. Okay, so you can pick any one statement. Come on, one of you pick any statement.
The third one, lot of illiteracy among women in rural India.
Okay, awesome. So there is a lot of illiteracy among women in rural India. Why? I'm asking why first time. And you only have to think out loud, like bring a solution.
Because of the lack of educational institutions are available to education.
Okay, because there are lack of educational institutes in rural India. Why? Why are there a lack of educational institutes?
Because of the deprived economic conditions.
Okay, why? why is this particular segment suffering because of these deprived economic conditions? There could be a lot of other things. So even if there is economic issues, say in the country, other areas are not suffering. Why is why are education institutes not there for girls? So why?
Because that is not.
Sorry, can you say that again? Okay, anyone else who's not having a network issue? Why?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, because education for women is not considered as a priority or a need in rural India,
Okay,
particularly.
awesome. Why is it not considered a priority or a need?
Because people are unaware of the importance of education and
Awesome.
the things that can
Okay.
come forward through it.
Awesome. That people are unaware of the importance of educating the girl child and the importance of it. Now, I have asked why 5 times. And I have come now to the root of the problem, which is actually the real reason is that there is lack of awareness on literacy of women. Correct? Because the culture doesn't consider it important. As a result, even though, maybe say there are economic issues, but other institutes are not suffering, right? But education for girls is suffering, not because money is the issue, but because they don't identify this as a need for women, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
And so we've seen by asking 5 whys, we have come to a root of the problem. And so your problem statement may sound something like, to improve awareness of, female literacy or in rural India's or in rural India by doing whatever, maybe by holding certain campaigns, by designing curriculum that can educate, people of the villages, for example. Okay, so then what's your product or the service that you're offering is this particular curriculum where you're educating, rural India about the importance of this, or you are having certain campaigns. That's the service that you're offering, because the real cause of the problem is unawareness or lack of awareness, and not the fact that there are no funds or that there are no resources or anything of that sort. Okay, are you understanding how we are applying 5 whys? We just keep asking why to the complaint, and to the solution we keep coming up to 5 times to come to the root. Okay, Hardi, क्या आप एक statement choose कर सकते हो कोई भी?
Yeah, last 2 seconds. There are lots of potholes on national highway.
ठीक है, awesome. ठीक है, तो there are lot of potholes on the national highway. तो मैं पूछूंगी क्यों, ऐसा क्यों है?
Maybe some road issue.
तो आप बोल रहे हो कि मटेरियल का इशू है, कंस्ट्रक्शन का?
Yes, yes.
ठीक है,
हाँ.
क्यों?
Because they're not done with high quality material and they're not maintained properly.
ठीक है, why? क्यों मेंटेन नहीं किया है प्रॉपर्ली? क्यों उन्होंने ठीक से मतलब they've not used proper material? Or why is there lack of maintenance?
It is someone else, like it is not their thing or not their concern. It's for someone else.
Okay, why?
Maybe because the ones who are spending, that is the government officials, they all travel in proper vehicles and proper roads, so they don't really are affected. They're not affected properly. Affected is the person's regular individuals.
Okay.
Maybe that's the reason.
Okay, correct. Now with this kind of complaint, often what can happen is we'll have a tendency to come down to actually blaming the government, because they're ideally responsible for construction of roads and all of these things. But if it is maybe a material related issue, the type of material being used in India for construction, can there be a solution for that at a lower cost? And then maybe if it's at a lower cost and not as expensive, then the government officials may not pocket as much money for example. But often with, statements like this, we have a tendency to, it'll come down to the government, that there is corruption in the government, or there's corruption in the departments responsible for this, and they are not executing it. But if we keep asking why, that's only a normal thing for this particular statement, that we may come up to a point where we'll say, okay, materials that were used were not proper. Why? There are not enough resources for these materials. Why? Because the funds that are coming in for this is maybe not enough. So then how can we maybe generate more funds towards this, or how can we find alternate solutions for materials to build this road? Okay, it can be something like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. हाँ ना, ये थोड़ा समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. Now, often what we should do is, we should try to kind of look at a solution by keeping the government aside, because then we'll meet with a dead end. When we think about the government should do this, we will meet with a dead end. So often let's try to keep the government sort of aside. And like I was saying, there are 3 pillars of defining a problem. Very important to ask whose problem we are solving, who is the user, what needs are we solving, and why are we doing this? हम ये क्यों कर रहे हैं? Okay. These are the questions that you need to ask. It's all put in a problem sheet, which I will show it to you just now. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this. These are very important questions for you to ask, so that all your solution and everything is in one place, which is who's facing the problem, who needs a solution, what needs to be addressed. Okay, just like Veena was saying this at the start, right? What are they currently using? What are the limitations or shortcomings of that? Okay, why do they need a solution, and what is your solution? So ये एक problem fact sheet है, ये आपके हेल्प के लिए है. तो अगर आप स्क्रीनशॉट ले, वो आपकी मदद करेगा. ये सब आपके लिए पॉइंट्स है जो आप बनाओगे. ठीक है, कि कौन किसे ये प्रॉब्लम है, कौन फेस कर रहा है ये प्रॉब्लम, उनके नीड्स क्या है. ठीक है, करंटली वो क्या इस्तेमाल करे, क्या प्रोडक्ट है, क्या सोल्यूशन इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं फिलहाल, और उस सोल्यूशन का लिमिटेशंस क्या है, और उन्हें बेहतर सोल्यूशन क्यों चाहिए, और आपका जो सोल्यूशन जो आप प्रपोज कर रहे हैं वो क्या है. ठीक है, इसे एक प्रॉब्लम फैक्ट शीट बोलते हैं. नाउ ऑन द स्क्रीन हमें एक पिक्चर दिखाई दे रहा है, राइट, ऑफ ओवरफ्लोइंग गार्बेज. हु आर ऑल द पीपल दैट suffer from this issue, not suffer, but हमने किन को प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है इस चीज से?
All the travelers on the road. I mean, pedestrians.
Correct. All travelers on the road face this problem. Residents may face this issue. Correct. You might also have the municipality officials who have an issue with overflowing garbage, and then they don't even know when the dustbins are full, because there's no sort of sensor or system to help them identify. Maybe there are not enough garbage bins, and so wherever there are garbage bins, they are overflowing. Okay, so one problem can have multiple there can be multiple solutions for one problem. Also depends on how we identify the real problem in that area. Okay, let's say it's an issue to do with the residents. So residents don't know how to segregate waste, and so they are dumping everything in one garbage bin because they don't really understand waste management. So who are our users? Residents. What are their needs? They need to be trained about waste management or garbage segregation. Okay, why do we need to do this? So that garbage can be separated and there can be faster collection. Let's say the garbage, the problem is that the garbage collection van doesn't come on time to clean up overflowing garbage bins. Who is the user? Municipal authorities. What do they need? They need a tracking system to understand ये कब full हो रहा है, कहाँ पे है, कहाँ पे जाके हम ये collect करें. Okay, why? So that they can have real-time information about overflowing garbage bins and they can reach there on time. Maybe the problem is not the municipal authorities or the residents, but the size of the garbage bin, that they are not adequate to collect the garbage. Again, who's the user? Municipal authorities, because they are the ones collecting it and they are facing the issue. what is their need? They need a mechanism or bigger garbage bins or different sizes depending on the locality, or bins at shorter distances, right? So this could be another solution. So each problem can have multiple solutions depending on whose problem it is that we are solving. Just like in this example here on the screen. Okay. Today, that's why we have focused a lot on identifying the problem correctly. Okay. Asking those 3 important questions of who is the consumer, what is their need, why are we solving this problem, okay, and how to come to the root cause of the problem. Because if we are able to do that, then we are able to define the problem statement correctly. And everything we learned about challenging the obvious, connecting the dots, are nothing but perspectives for you to apply in your own business or in your idea to fill up any loophole that already exists. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with these statements for you to sort of practice coming up with the root cause of the problem. Or you can take your own idea that you have, go through it another time to identify whether you are tackling the right root of the problem. All right, does that make sense? Yes, no?
Yes.
And 3 things for you to keep in mind is, remember that your problem, जिसके लिए आप solution दे रहे हैं, वो problem important होना चाहिए. You have to ask yourself, how important is this problem? How big is this problem? कितना बड़ा है ये problem? किन किन लोगों को ये issue ये face कर रहे हैं? और अगर मैं एक solution propose करूं तो कब तक वो ये solution चुनेंगे? They shouldn't only choose it for some time, right? It should be a long-term solution. So how important is the problem? How widespread is your problem? And how long will people keep using your solution that you are proposing? Okay. So with that, I'm going to end today's session on, let's learn how to identify the problem first. Apply everything that you've learned in today's session to your own problems. जो भी आपने आज सीखा है, वो आप जब आपके खुद के आइडिया और प्रॉब्लम के बारे में सोच रहे हो, तो इन चीजों का ध्यान रखो, देखो कि क्या आप चेंज कर सकते हो, क्या आप इम्प्रूव कर सकते हो, यू नो, हाउ कैन यू कम विद द राइट रूट कॉज ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम, कम अप विद द राइट रूट कॉज ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम. Okay, I'm going to give you time to do that, and then we're going to meet again on Thursday, where I will give you some more practical tips. Do you all have any doubts or questions for me? कोई doubt है, कोई question है मेरे लिए? Yes? Any doubts, any questions?
No.
Any feedback, anything you learned?
No.
I'm hoping this was helpful in some
Session
way.
was quite interactive actually. I mean, out of all the other sessions I've heard recently, this is more interactive. I mean,
I'm
it was
very glad.
we also were talking a lot. Even though I
Yes,
was driving, I was talking a lot, so that you'll understand better from our side also what we're thinking, what we're understanding. And though it was a simple concept, I mean, known concept, it was again told in a better way, I thought.
Yeah, thank you so much, Veena. I'm really glad, and I'm glad you all interacted because you all added so much more value to the session.
Rightly said, Lisha, rightly said. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions or any queries, Nikita has entered her email address in the chat box. You can just email her if you have any questions. And we are sincerely hoping to see you all this Thursday. Right, Lisha?
Yes, yes, definitely.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nikita. Thanks, Lisha.
Thank you.
Pallavi,
Thanks,
Hardi,
Pallavi,
Veena.
Hardi, Veena, for joining.
Thank you,
I'll see you
everyone.
on Thursday.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.